Thanks for logging on to the channel. I know it's been some time since I've been back, and what a day to try and prepare two cars in the middle of rain and hurricanes and everything else everyone's going to. But these wouldn't be around too long, so I wanted to kind of bring you guys a little comparison and just a little conversation quickly on a GV80 that we just received. I know I've done some videos on GV80s as well. Some of you guys have responded to some of the things that we've done. Big shout out to Mike Smith. You know who you are, and I appreciate the conversation that we've had in reference to Genesis. But I wanted to kind of get this color to you guys. We've waited almost, the customers waited almost a year and a half to receive this matte green GV80 3.5 Prestige advanced all-wheel drive. So I just kind of wanted to capture a little bit of the color and talk a little bit about how Genesis has been able to pull off these flat colors, and they make them in three, if I'm not mistaken, for 23. There's a flat white, flat green, and then there's a flat, it's graphite to the black side. But what it does to the car and what people think it is versus what it is. And every time that someone sees this color, I just drove it for about 50 miles when we PDI'd it. Everybody thinks it's a wrap because how can you pull off such a great color and a great matte finish in a paint? And the stages that Genesis goes through to actually pull it off is phenomenal. And those of you who remember these deep hunter greens on vehicles that were built 10, 15, years ago, they've kind of brought that feeling back. This vehicle comes with its own detail kit. You cannot wash it, cannot wax it with anything else that is supplied by Genesis. And we use that product to get it into the finish that you see now, the polish that you see now. And it's a pretty easy stage to clean it. I will say that it will be very difficult if this gets scratched or wrecked, to actually find someone that can paint the same matte. Because we are a Genesis dealer and we have our own body shop, we do have the formulas to be able to do that. And I've seen some of the matte gray G70s and GV70s and 80s come in with some damage. And we have the process to be able to put them right back to the way they were. On a previous video that we shot, we talked about the 22-inch wheels versus the actual 20-inch wheel. And as you can see on this vehicle, that machining, that elegance that they put into this 22-inch wheel, it makes the car stand out. It's absolutely beautiful when it's spinning or when it's sitting still. I won't go into too many things. I just want you to capture the interior of this vehicle. It is a brown and deep hunter green combination. I think where they put the green, where they put the brown, you won't find it. Some of you are going to say, thank God, you won't find it in anything else. But it just stands out in their attention to detail like we've talked about before. At night, you get different hints of green, some black, some green. And on the interior, the same thing. When the sun's down and that moonlight is out, it kind of resembles sometimes black seats, sometimes green seats, and then the door panels as well. They're just attention to matching the colors and what they did with the wood trim. And then we've gone over all of the features already before. But as we move around with the camera, you can see where if the sunlight was hitting the green, how sometimes you'll get that shiny matte finish and sometimes just that matte finish. So I hope you guys like the color. Obviously it's a pre-sold vehicle that someone had ordered that took a long time to get. It was supposed to come in as a 22. It took so long to get it because of the pandemic that it's a 23. So the customer kind of benefits from that. Mm-hmm. And fully loaded, I believe MSRP is right under $77,000. Actually, what I will say is one of my favorites. And the reason it's one of my favorites is you can see the size difference, but also you can see the attention to detail that they did in the wheels, in the trim. And for those of you who are looking for a luxurious sport utility in a smaller size, the GV70 fits that bill, no question about it. I actually prefer when it's just me driving the GV70. It's a more tighter feel. It gives you a little bit more of that sports car, sedan, crossover SUV feeling. Prestige Advanced 2.5, I believe, T. And you can see the luxurious interior, the red accents, and that can be changed. But the same kind of finishes that you get in a more expensive GV80, you also get in a mid-size, smaller GV70. Just the actual pattern of the rims. This is a 21-inch wheel that comes in the Prestige package. And just the machining of the wheel makes it stand out.
Super cool.
The midnight color paint, you can't see it, sorry, in front of the camera, too much in here, but it does have a sparkle when it's in the sun.
Yeah.
And again, the fit and finish of what they did inside, the trim, the outside, not as much cargo space, but the same attention to detail in the back, with the dual exhaust, with the actual integrated sunken bumper to give you that flat with the lights. As you can see, they're flush mounted, wrapped around. What a great place to put the trunk pop. And you can see inside that there is a fair amount of room. For storage underneath, there's elegant compartments to store your manuals and what you need so they don't slide around. And again, it's just that high tailgate, easy entry, push button closures, and I think this vehicle is $20,000 less than the GV80 we just looked at, but there is an upcharge on that vehicle as well for the matte paint. So in comparison, it's probably about $22,000 less. On the doors, there's that aluminum instead of the high grade wood, which I think gives it a little bit of a sportier look. And that is what I think you're going for, and what I just said you get when you have a GV70 Prestige all-wheel drive versus a GV80. Interior-wise, we've talked about the steering wheel before. This also gives a little bit of a more sportier look with the aluminum actually down tube in the bottom of the wheel, where if you remember on the GV80, it's just an oval and there is nothing down here. Everything else, fingerprint recognition. This vehicle, you can program most of everything that you would need as a driver. And from your fingerprint, it sets everything every time you get in the car back to what it was before if someone else was driving it. Great technology. It goes along with the no key, wallet key or app key. And again, I think what they did inside lends to what I just said earlier about a little bit more of a sporty feel and sporty ride, but still giving you all the luxury options that you would get and would require in something that's in this price range. Obviously moonroof with sky view, which I think not on today's day would be good. But inside we're protected.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Good, right? And then if you'll notice also the white stitching inlay into the black carbon interior. So this vehicle, no matter the size of who's in this driver's seat, the seat can be positioned any way you want. And I just feel a little bit more like I want to drive a race car when I'm in this, whereas I'm full luxury when I'm over in a GV80, and it's just a little bit different size and stance. So I really appreciate you guys' support, logging on. If you like content like this, please subscribe, hit the like button. We're trying to keep it going. We did run into some weather problems and I've been traveling, so I'm glad to be back and be able to bring you guys some more content. So look for more coming in the future. We have a few more products that are coming in, and then just the craziness of what happens here, we're going to bring you guys as well. So thanks again, and please like and subscribe.